Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bobby Rush. As a blues man, I love Mississippi Public Broadcasting. If you support Mississippi music and their local programming, donate now, right now, and become a member today, not tomorrow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Doesn't matter how big or small, but we prefer big. Thank you very much.
When the weather turns severe, when breaking news affects your family, when Mississippi needs answers, MPB is there. We provide real-time emergency alerts, trusted news coverage, and live broadcasts of emergency updates. Available on TV, radio, and online. MPB is on the air and by your side every day of the year. Because when it matters most, Mississippi turns to MPB, Mississippi's trusted source. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Okie dokie, folks, welcome back. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing and Java. How are you doing today?
Man, I'm doing fine. It's the last day of our pledge drive, so there's a lot of hustle and bustle. We're just trying to round the curve and, as we say, bust through the tape, break through the tape.
We got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about, too, and it's a live No, it's not a live program.
Well, it is a live program, but we're not taking phone calls.
Not taking phone calls.
But if you are
the Facebook thing.
On the YouTube.
YouTube,
Come on, Felder, you got to get it. Come on. But no, if you're on YouTube on the live stream, youtube.com, you can search the Gestalt Gardener or Mississippi Public Broadcasting, and you can drop a question in the YouTube chat. We did that last week and got several questions, but I know you brought in a bunch of pictures. You even brought in a new bouquet, and we got to talk about what's behind your head, man.
Okay, first of all, take care of old business. Forgot to say last week, them Tigers did pretty good.
Oh, and the Tigers are in Las Vegas for a game against Grambling this Saturday. Safe travels to all of the JSU Tigers, including my parents who are making their way to Las Vegas, the Blue Bengal Association. And yeah, man, shout out JSU.
Yeah, any Bulldogs out there? I mean, come on, Coach, that last call. But we're not here to talk about sports.
We're not.
We're here to talk about horts, not sports. But I know this. Those of you on live stream, or if you listen to the podcast, Jason did an incredible, proud to be a neighbor, a poster of me as a Muppet. I'm a Muppet. I'm a long-haired, flat cap wearing Muppet.
Yeah, that's you, man. He showed me that yesterday, and I hit the floor, man. It was crazy.
We got to come up with an appropriate name for it. It's a green Muppet that's sort of Felder-esque, I guess.
Oh, I don't know. It would be called Felder.
Yeah. Well, and by the way, speaking of signs, MPB, we got these yard signs.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I got a picture of it. Picture number one. If you're on podcast, you can see this. It's a yard sign that I put in my yard, and you can see my fall flowers, my chrysanthemums, my asters, my goldenrod, my sunflowers, the castor bean, all these things in my neighbor. And the flowers look pretty good, but having a little hard feature out there, whether it's a rock or an urn or a proud to be neighbor MPB yard sign, it really, really makes it. And it's colorful, too.
And the best thing about those yard signs, they are absolutely free. You can come by MPB and come by the station here in Jackson and pick them up. But we've been passing them out all around the state. This Saturday at Rick's Memorial Library in Yazoo City. We're going to be there from 8:30 to 10:30. And then on the 28th, which would be, let's see, if Saturday is the 25th, on the 28th, that is next Tuesday, we're going to be at Laurel Jones County Library from 10 a.m. to noon, and you can visit mpbonline.org and see where you can get these free, absolutely free yard signs.
I'm gonna haul some in my car. I'm going to a couple of plant swaps. Matter of fact, I'm going to one tomorrow down in Mobile. I want to give a shout out to the plant swap in Mobile. It's one of the biggest I've ever been to. It's every fall, every October, and it's going to be at the Central Presbyterian Church Community Garden, which is at the corner of St. Anne and Dauphin Street in Mobile. Central Pres Church. Starts at 10 o'clock. I'll be there. Got some fun plans, and always so many really interesting plants, but also interesting people, Java. I mean, this is one of the things I say is a plant swap is where people who think they're normal but aren't feel normal. Should I say that?
Well,
And
that's what I'm about to say. I think the sentiment was there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm include me. People who were introverts. We're not intro or extroverts. We're otherverts. And we get along great when we're with other people who just want to have a good time in their yard.
There you go.
So that's going to be at 10 o'clock Saturday morning, Central Pres Church parking lot in Mobile. Also, I'm going to the floor. Before I mention that, I'm going down tonight. I'm staying in Ocean Springs. I'm going to go visit a couple of folks who have really cool, interesting plant collections. And I'm going to be staying at a place I've looked at for a little B&B that's right next to the Walter Anderson Museum. It's called Springs Hotel. It's one of these places where each room is named stuff like honeysuckle or sassafras or mistletoe. But anyway, I'm going to eat tonight at a place called the Shed Barbecue. Java, you and I have been there.
Yeah, the Shed is a one-of-a-kind experience. And if you haven't been, it's a true Mississippi treasure out there on the coast. And it's like, I don't want to say you're eating in a dumpster, but...
No, because it looks a lot like my shack, Java.
Okay.
Let's just say it's a make-do.
But one of the owners, I think he is famous for like dumpster diving. So it's really eclectic. You never know what you'll see when you eat at the Shed.
Yeah. Well, listen, I know it's drive time, but there's some stuff I want to share. One is last week. Let's see if we can get this picture number 2 of persimmon up. Last week here on the program, I took a persimmon seed and I cut it in half, and it showed a spoon, which means it's going to be shoveling snow or something this weekend. Anyway, that's sort of a southern weather predictor. But people have been emailing me about seeing woolly bears. So, Java, have you heard of woolly bears before?
My next question was going to be, Felder, what's a woolly bear?
Well, I got a picture of it, as a matter of fact. Picture number 3 is a woolly bear. It's a caterpillar. It's really, really furry, and usually it's black. And it's got a little. See if we can get the picture up. Picture number 3 of the woolly bear. It's a caterpillar. It's about the size of the end of my little finger, black, but the middle part can be kind of brown. It looks scary, but it doesn't sting or anything. And anyway, woolly bear supposed to predict the winter also, Java. And here's the deal. The more black it is, the harsher the winter. The more brown in the middle, that sort of rusty red stripe, the milder the winter.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm curious if anybody has seen woolly bears. We'll talk about that next week. But so far, people have been seeing a little bit of brown, but a lot of black, like we're going to have we'll see. But in case anybody wonders, this being Think Radio, I have another picture, number 4. The woolly bear turns into this pretty little moth that's about the size of the end of my finger, and it's called the Isabella tiger moth. When it spreads its wings out, it's got little spots and stripes like a little tiger. Anyway, in case you're worried, how does this little moth come from that big old caterpillar? I'm not sure. But anyway, that's the kind of stuff we like to talk about. Woolly bears and persimmons. Is it horticulture? No. Is it accurate? No. But is it interesting? Heck yeah. That's what we do. So anyway, got plenty of stuff to talk about. Would like to mention that if you can do a plant swap, and there's one going to be at the on November the 5th at the Adams County Extension Service in Natchez. They're going to have one. I think it starts at 10 also. But anyway, plant swap rules. Bring a plant, a pretty good plant, and to swap. If you bring more than one plant, that's fine. But we try to have just one plant per swap. And then all the extras people swap out in the parking lot. And it puts people who normally don't get along with other folks in a safe setting where you can get along with other folks, and we don't notice you're not getting along because we all love our plants. So anyway, there it is. So, man, I got a lot of stuff to talk about, but I know it's drive time. I would like to throw this out about the pub talk this past week. I try to talk about, what me and the blokes talk about at the pub. Last week I thought that was going to be about a couple of old guys and everybody else chiming in on their recipes for salmon croquettes. Did we talk about salmon croquettes last week?
No, I can't remember. We talked about a lot of stuff, but I don't think we talked about salmon croquettes.
Have you ever had salmon croquettes?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's sort of I don't know, it's. The smell conjures up childhood. But anyway.
No, that's true.
Well, we started sharing recipes and all. But this is the one we came up with. We were talking about Crayola colors. We're talking about how the fact that raw umber is gone, periwinkle blue, they got rid of it, sea green, they got rid of it, and they finally did away with a crayon called Flesh. Java, you too young to remember this because they did away with it in 62, 63, something like that. They had a crayon called Flesh. And it wasn't like anybody.
I would say, what color was it?
Well, I'll give you a hint. They did away with it because of course. Mm-hmm. But they renamed it Peach.
Oh, Lord.
So do I look peach colored to you?
Who's Flesh?
Yeah. But anyway, we started talking about if we could come up with our own Crayolas, our own colors. I'm thinking, here's one, habanero orange.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. We're talking about, I came up with one called Cow Patty Brown.
I understand that one.
But the guys at the pub says, yeah, but there's wet patty and there's dry patty, and they're two different color browns.
Well, if you get one of the bigger boxes, you can have all those variations.
Yeah, well, anyway, one of what I call the art gal, she said the wet patty is a new raw umber.
Okay.
I'm just saying, this kind of stuff that we talk about when, everybody, what do y'all talk about? Well, it ain't just sports. Sometimes it's about crayons. So anyway, I'm horticulturalist Felder Rushing, Java Chapman, and all the folks here at MPB. We're glad you're joining us. I know it's drive time, and we're going to give a pitch in just a second. But if you come back, I'm going to share my recipe for compost. Here's some of my own compost and some seeds that can be planted this time of year for beautiful fall colors. Again, the Gestalt Gardener here at MPB, we're glad you joined us. Appreciate you supporting us. And we're going to come back with more right after this.
Thanks for listening to MPB. I'm Kevin Farrell. We've got some exciting news right now. Thanks to the MPB Member Matching Fund, your donation right now will be worth double to help keep MPB Say Strong. So your gift will be matched dollar for dollar. With me this morning in the studio, here's MPB Foundation Director Angela Perez.
Good morning. I'm glad to be here, Kevin.
Good to see you, Angela.
Well, MPB's fall campaign was only a handful of days, which means we need to raise more each day of the campaign. So here on the final day of the fall on-air portion of our campaign, listeners from near and far are helping MPB play catch-up. And you still have time in the final hours of the on-air campaign. This only works when we have participation from people who cherish having MPB Think Radio in their lives. You have your own reasons for giving. The important thing is that you do your part now. Please be our neighbor and call 888-372-4483 or make your gift online at mpbonline.org. You can also text the word GIVE to 888-372-4483. 4483.
And now would be a perfect time to do it because during Felder's show, we will double your contribution, dollar for dollar match during this hour. So if you haven't made that contribution yet, go ahead, go to the phones, get on your computer, and the power of your contribution will be even more during Felder's show this morning. You know, at MPB, we truly know the meaning of community. We connect you with experts in a number of areas who provide opportunities to engage, from asking questions about the law, personal finance, and home improvement, to sharing secret family recipes or gardening ideas with fellow listeners. The rare thing is that MPB is one of the few local public stations that offers live and local programs each weekday morning from 9 to noon. How can that be? It's because you support it through listening, calling, and giving during drive time. And now's the perfect time to give because your contribution will be matched dollar for dollar. So won't you be our neighbor and make that contribution right now?
That's right, Kevin, and no matter where you go, advertising is there. It's on commercial TV and radio. They make you wait through ads when you're trying to watch a cat video. Of course, you can pay extra to have access to ad-free media. Hulu offers ad-free TV for an extra $6 a month, basically double what you'd pay with ads. But here on MPB Think Radio, you don't have to worry about that. The community supports the station with donations, and businesses support MPB through sponsorship. Support commercial-free radio by giving $5, $10, or $15 a month. Our website, mpbonline.org, you have the option to text the word GIVE or call us at this number, 888-372-4483. That's 888-372-4483.
Now, Angela, I'm not sure. Did I mention that there's a match going on this hour?
I think you mentioned it strongly, Kevin.
Dollar for dollar, double the power of your contribution during Felder's show this morning. We've had a great response from folks this week from Drive Time. Let's end it on a high note again. If you haven't made your contribution yet, now is the perfect time to do. Show that you support MPB Think Radio, Felder, and all the other local programs, and we will double your contribution. Call 888-372-4483 or go online to mpbonline.org.
Okie folks, welcome back. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing. They made me into a Muppet, Java.
They did that. Now I will say though that is one of the
Here we go.
One of the proper uses of AI.
Oh, me, I got to have a poster of that. I just got to have a poster of that.
We should have some T-shirts. The YouTube comments, they're asking for T-shirts, so we may have to figure something out.
Yeah, we appreciate the folks who are watching live on YouTube, listening live on the radio or the computer, and you can access this anytime, 24/7, by going to YouTube and in the search box type in Gestalt Gardener or Mississippi Public Broadcasting.
And I want to jump in because if you are watching this or listening to this podcast or on the live stream later on, if good morning because it's or good night because it's midnight that you're watching, you can still donate. You can always show your support for MPB. You don't even have to wait for drive time. You can visit our website, mpbonline.org, anytime the mood hits you that you want to support this not-for-profit radio station.
That's right. And, Job, I came across a thing from a book by Karol Kopek. Now, he was a philosopher from Poland, I think. Anyway, somewhere in over there. In 1929, he's the guy who coined the term robot.
Oh.
He came up with the word robot. Anyway, here's the gardener's prayer. I shared it on Mississippi Gardening Facebook and got a lot of likes. It's real simple. Ready for this? O Lord, grant that in some way it may rain every day, say from about midnight until 3 in the morning. But you see, it must be gentle and warm so it can soak in. Grant that at the same time it would not rain on sedums and others which you in your infinite wisdom know are drought-loving plants. And grant that the sun may shine the whole day long, but not everywhere, not for instance on the fern and hosta, and not too much. That there may be plenty of dew and little wind, enough worms, no aphids and snails or mildew, and that once a week a thin liquid manure may fall from heaven. Amen.
I like the midnight to 3 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, the reason I mention that because I'm making compost this week. The leaves are starting to fall. In case you hadn't noticed, you need to get out there and mow them as much as you can, but sooner or later they can be raked. And I rake them into a pile. I don't have a compost system. Java, I've written so much about composting. I've participated in the compost research of the American Hort Society. I can make your eyes bleed with stuff about thermophilic bacteria and bioactivation and turning and aerating and carbon-nitrogen ratio. But I just have a leaf pile. I just pile stuff up along a wall. But anyway, I don't know how close they can get on this, but I brought some of my compost from last year.
Felder homemade compost.
That's right. I don't know how close they can get on this, and I want to pick it up because every time I pick stuff up, I make this place really, really nasty. I don't know if they can crank down on this with a camera or not. But it is rich, it's dark, it's chocolatey, it's crumbly, it smells good, it's incredible natural fertilizer, and it came from just piling leaves up, Java. I didn't turn it.
That's what I'm about to say. You don't have one of those systems where you have to crank and spin.
Heck no. What I do, there we go. There's a close-up of it. All I did was I piled stuff up, and I pile everything. When I pull plants in the fall or the spring, I pile them on top. Kitchen scraps, eggshells, coffee, all that kind of stuff. Banana peels, I just throw it on top. And if you're worried about things like raccoons or possums or something, just keep a little piece of a shovel and bury it. I don't turn it. I don't aerate it. I don't do anything. And look at what it did all by itself. Compost is not hard. There's only 2 rules for composting, Java. Stop throwing that stuff away, pile it up someplace. it happens.
Now, what does not go in the compost? Because you can say put it in the pile, but everything doesn't go in the pile.
I've read all these rules. I've heard them, and people repeat them all the time. They say don't put meat in it. I put a raccoon in mine one time, Java. I put squirrels in them. You bury them a little bit so it's not embarrassing. But they say don't put weeds in there. Well, because you put weeds in your garden, hello, I already got weeds in my garden. I don't put things that make a lot of weed seeds in it, but everything else. The only thing that I don't personally put in it, and keep in mind, I've got a little green army man and some Mardi Gras beads that are in there because they're sort of like old friends. When I'm sifting my compost, I find the little army man, which belonged to my son when he was a kid, and the Mardi Gras bead. The only thing I don't put in mine is broken glass because it's going to come back on you.
Yeah.
But they say no weeds, no meat. Come on, people. I've been doing this. It happens in the woods. And just find a little out-of-the-way place. And if you want to put kitchen scraps that got a little, cheese or meat, that kind of stuff, just bury it a little bit. It's not that big a deal. Horticulture tends to come up with all these rules, Java. Rules. And gardeners don't have to follow these rules. Matter of fact, what I like to do, the newspaper I column that I write for the weeklies and the daily papers around the state. One I put in this past week was about what I call Occam's razor. Have you heard of that one?
I have. Refresh my memory, though.
The shortest solution is the best solution.
There you go. There you go.
The shortest solution, simplest way is the best way. And I've got a whole bunch of Occam's razor stuff. And I can expand on them if I want to, but I don't need to. So things like don't eat wild mushrooms. Don't need to go there. Yeah, we can talk about it, but no, just don't eat wild mushrooms.
You're going to end up with Murphy's Law if you eat wild mushrooms.
That's right. Keep the shovel sharp. Protect pollinators and wildlife. Garden around fire ants. Don't let fire ants bother you that much. Just garden around them. But my favorite two-liner is the 2 rules for composting. Stop throwing it away, pile it up. And that really, really works. Oh, and here's another. If a plant dies more than once, plant something else.
Now that's one that needs to be on a T-shirt or a bumper sticker or something, because it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
More than once, plant something. And I have sort of a 4-stage guideline for dealing with challenges. This is something my younger brother shared with me decades ago, and I have it printed out on the wall in my office. Here's an order of importance, Java, for dealing with stuff, and it works in the garden. In order of importance, if you can't fix it, flee it, or fight it, flow with it. Don't get your shorts in a knot over stuff that you can't do anything about. Excuse me, your knickers in a knot.
Now, those are true words to live by. If you can't fix it, fight it.
Now, fix it, flee it, or fight it. In that order, flow with it.
And then what you can flow with is this MPB Think Radio Fall Fundraiser. Man, can you believe it? This is the last day, Felder. We started this a week ago, last Friday. Now we're at the end of it.
Well, and we appreciate the support, but at the same time, folks, if you're watching on the YouTube, the live stream, shoot us an email. Shoot us a little thing, and we'll talk about it. But anyway, we'll be back with more of the Gestalt Gardener and my weekly flower bouquet, which I'm going to make every week of the year. I'm going to bring a bouquet from my yard, and this year is pinks and purples, and some really fun little plants that are perennial, that grow without me having to do anything to them. You can have a bouquet of a garden by choosing good plants. We'll be back with more right after this.
This is MPB Think Radio. Thanks for listening. I'm Kevin Farrell. Today's the day to become an MPB sustainer, and we're suggesting $10, $12, maybe $15 a month or more. It's been a long week for us here at MPB Think Radio, and some of us are maybe starting to drag a little bit. But I'll tell you what, here's something that really gets me excited. Right now, a group of MPB members are working together, and they're going to match your gift dollar for dollar. It's a chance to have your gift doubled. But we need to hear from you right now because this is a limited time offer. With me in the studio, here's MPB Foundation Director Angela Ferez.
Hey, Kevin, I'm sorry I'm still stuck back on Felder's compost guidelines, so hesitated a minute there. These are the final hours of the Fall On Air campaign, and this is your chance for you to take a stand and support all of the programs here on MPB for the coming months. Others are taking responsibility for their portion of the overall goal. So if you can give $8, $10, or $15 a month or more, that would be a big help. We work hard each day so we never come up short on serving the public. So we're hoping we also don't fall short of our overall goal for the drive either. Please get involved with the donation now. Become our neighbor by call or texting the word GIVE to 888-372-4483 or take 3 minutes to make a donation at mpbonline.org.
And you might say our neighbors this morning are living in a duplex because their contribution is going to be doubled, matched dollar for dollar. But you got to do it right now. It's only during Felder Show. If you haven't made your contribution yet and you love Felder Rushing, do your part right now and we'll match your contribution. A big part of MPB's mission is to focus our public service on producing as many live and local programs as we can during the middays. Through listener support from folks like you, Think Radio is one of the rare stations in the U.S. to provide 3 hours of thought-provoking programs made by locals for locals every weekday. And of course, you know that MPB is known across America as the best place for serving our children on MPB television and online through the Digital Education Network. The money you give now is invested right back into our communities statewide through these programs. So please be our neighbor, do your part right now, and show your support.
Kevin, thanks to technology, you can support your favorite nonprofits by becoming a monthly sustainer. And as the director of the foundation, I love sustainers. That is where you make monthly gifts, maybe $5, $10, or $30 on your credit card, and support that organization on an ongoing basis. That saves you from having to write a check to renew your gift every year and all the way back and forth with envelopes and reminders, and it allows you to have a big impact with small monthly payments. A fringe benefit of MPB's monthly sustainer membership is that you can help keep the number of fundraising drives to a minimum. Not that people don't love hearing from us, Kevin, and you talking about doubling their gift. But be our neighbor. Call and text the word GIVE to 888-372-4483 or make the switch to Sustainer online at mpbonline.org.
We are matching your contribution dollar for dollar. It's Friday. Help this drive end on a high note with your contribution right now during Felder Show, and you'll double the power of that contribution. One of the ways you support MPB Think Radio is to make that contribution online. When you hit donate now at mpbonline.org, leave a comment. We love to hear them. Glenn in Ocean Springs says the news is clear and concise and enjoys the culture and educational features. And Karen in Jackson tells us, I enjoy MPB a lot since I've retired from my job. It's great to listen to while I work my jigsaw puzzles. Well, thanks, Glenn and Karen. Your life is better and you're doing something great for everybody. Takes just a few minutes to do your part at mpbonline.org. So go to your computer, log on to mpbonline.org to make that contribution, or call us 888-372-4483. But do it right now because your contribution is going to be matched dollar for dollar. Double the power of your contribution. Make that contribution right now.
Okay, I'm at a pub, and I'd like to find out how these spell Mississippi in Northern English.
Well, it's M-I-S-S-I-P-P-I.
What?
M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I. M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I.
Mississippi, Mississippi. There's Mississippi going on here. If you go east, there's Alabama. If you go west, there's Louisiana. If you go north, there's Tennessee. And Arkansas's next to Mississippi. There's just Mississippi going on around here.
Mississippi.
I don't know why Mississippi is so hard to spell, but I guess it's just because it has so many S's and so many I's. And
well, you got to remember, these are folks from Lancashire.
Lancashire, England.
Anybody from England or Great Britain knows that Northerners in England are sort of like Southerners here.
Oh.
You know, they have Northern jokes in London like we have Southern jokes in Boston. And anyway, I live near Liverpool. And they just talk different. They're just a more relaxed, laid-back thing. Anyway, the song, the Mississippi song, was done by a listener named Larry Chance. Larry sent that in some years ago that he recorded down. He's out from Hattiesburg. Appreciate that. And I appreciate folks who are supporting us here at MPB also. I was mentioning my bouquet job. I've got some white dusty miller. I've got little frilly flowers of my maiden grass. I've got two kinds of chrysanthemum, Clara Curtis, and I've got one that's kind of pinkish color. But also I've got purple flowers from Mexican petunia, and I've got my what they call purple heart type of wandering Jew type plant. And of course, some fall asters. It's possible to have a bouquet every week of the year if you look around every week of the year around the older parts of town, settled parts of town. Find out who's growing what. Look in the older gardens where they don't really do a lot of stuff. They don't do a lot of horticulture. Not the latest and greatest. You can find the most precious pass-along plants that grow well in Mississippi. And that's what plant swaps are about. I'm going to be at the Mobile Plant Swap Central Presbyterian Church Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. And then we're going to be at the Flora Library next Thursday starting at 9 o'clock. And then might even make it down to Natchez. They're having theirs on November the 1st at the Adams County Extension Building. But these are good places if you're not a joiner, if you're not a garden club person, if you're not a plant, if you don't really get along that well with other people, but you can fit in if you have to, what we call ultraverse. Plant swaps are perfect. Bring any kind of plant, and it's sort of a common language.
Now, would you consider the Greenwood Cemetery one of the oldest gardens?
Well, the old garden park cemeteries from the 1800s, they were original botanic gardens in America. I mean, they were designed as botanic arboretums. They're all over the country, but one in Greenwood Cemetery was done in 1819.
Am I saying that correct? The one downtown?
Yeah. Greenwood Cemetery is 1 block north of the Capitol. Got a lot of bulbs and old roses and great perennials there, too. But it was done about the same time as the old cemetery, the National Cemetery in Natchez, which also has some old roses. But these cemeteries at one point were gathering places. You know, people went strolling there. They had sometimes music and all, picnics and all.
In the cemetery?
Yeah, Garden Park Cemetery, because we didn't have public spaces back then. It was a place that's maintained. And anyway, and I tell you what, you want to see a rowdy party on the Day of the Dead, June the 1st, you go to cemeteries in Hispanic cemeteries, Latino cemeteries. They are wild with music and food and people spreading out their blankets and families getting together. But the thing I like about it is when you look in the old cemeteries, you'll find plants that do well if you look. You can find something in bloom every month of the year in some cemetery. The dead people can grow these Java. And I'm thinking, if you pull those plants from all the different individual places, put them together in one garden, you've got a year-round garden that needs practically no maintenance at all. That's what I'm all about. By the way, would like to talk. I'm going to talk a little bit next week about sweet olives starting to bloom, but they're starting to bloom in olive trees. But I found a new plant.
You discovered something?
No, I found one. Somebody discarded a plant. They put it out on the curb, and I was walking around the neighborhood. I walk a lot. I walk at night. I'm one of those creepy-looking people that they call next door about. You know,
you on the app?
Yeah. The what was it? Felton.
Felder Plushing. That's the name of your.
Somebody wrote. Yeah, this.
Your Muppet.
My Muppet-looking thing, Felton Plushing. Anyway, I found that somebody put it out on the curb, and let's show a picture of it. This is in my garden, picture number 8, if we could call that up. Yeah. I mean, I got a fun garden. I got shapes and textures and rocks and little woven wattle fences and gnome and stuff like that. But see that great big pretty green looking plant, little philodendron split leaf thing?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, it looks okay. It's good texture, good. But let me show picture number 9 to show where it's provenance. Come on, Phil.
That's where you found it.
It's a fake, an artificial plant, a plastic plant. And somebody threw it out, container and all, on the curb and said, that looked good in my yard.
Oh, wow. Felder, you're one of a kind, bro.
No, I'm not. There's a lot of people like me, but most of them want to. Let's go back to picture number 8 and show what that thing looks like in my garden now, because, you know, it's not bad.
It's okay, yeah. I'm really looking at this. If you're not on the YouTube, this is pull you to the YouTube. This homemade gnome that you have right there in the corner.
Yeah, I tend to over-accessorize, but you know what? Some people hang stuff out of holes in their ears. I put gnomes in my yard instead. Same thing.
Now, we do got a question from the YouTube live stream because you were talking about compost, right? Uh-huh. And it says, Felder said, this is from David, I think it says David Harrison. Felder said, anything but glass in the compost. I have heard not to put nightshades because of insects and such. Do you agree, or do you just stick with anything but glass?
If it will decompose, it goes in my compost. I don't send stuff to landfill. I use leaves as mulch. I pile sticks up. I've got a fire pit for stuff. I've got a little dead hedge where I pile things. But if it will decompose, it goes in my leaf pile. Period. Now, a lot of people say, well, you don't want to put weeds in there because blah, 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 blah. It's not that big. They get diluted. And a lot of them get killed by the compost and all like that. And when you put them out in the yard, they're diluted. It's not that big a deal. It's people who are splitting hairs. Well, I'm going the opposite. I'm applying Occam's razor. If it'll decompose in the woods, it'll decompose in my yard. So anyway, and some people say, well, you shouldn't be that way, Felder. I'm thinking, shut up. I wrote the book. I can be any way I want. And I choose the least stressful way of gardening. What? What? I'm not gonna lie, Felder. You've said a lot of things on this show, but you meant that. I did. You do you, okay? You do you, and leave me alone. It's like one of my other rules. It's okay to prune crepe myrtles. People say you shouldn't prune. Nobody said you shouldn't prune crepe myrtles before Southern Living coined that phrase, crepe myrtle. Everywhere in the world, they're pruned okay. It's just a plant. Don't stop being body shamed by Southern Living. And if you don't want to prune them, don't prune them. But if you want to, hold your head up. So anyway, I don't know where all that came from. Hey, speaking of compost, do we have time to do this little thing on garden reincarnation?
Yeah, let's do that right before this upcoming pledge break.
This is one of my former producers. You'll recognize immediately. But this is an old cowboy poem called Where Do Cowboys Go When They Die? And I changed it into Where Do Gardeners Go When They Die? Let's listen to this.
Where do the gardeners go when they die? What is reincarnation? A gardener asked his friend. His friend replied, well, it happens when your life has reached its end. You see, they store your tools and they roll your holes and they clean your fingernails. Then they bury you deep in a compost pile, far away from life's travails. You start to melt down in that leaf pile that you are inside. And later you're put in the garden and just beginning your transformation ride. Well, in a while, some rain's gonna come and fall upon the ground, till one day on your lonely little spot, a little flower will be found. And say a slug should slide by and graze upon the flower that once was you, but has now become a vegetative bower. The little flower that has been eaten by the snail becomes everything essential for its shell. But some he's consumed he can't use, so it passes through, and finally it lays there on the ground, this stuff that once was you. And then say that I should wander by and gaze upon the ground, and wonder and ponder on this object that I've found. Well, it sure makes me think of reincarnation, of life and death and such, and I walk away concluding that, friend, you ain't changed all that much.
Gardener's compost. Friends, you ain't changed all that much.
That is true. Shout out to Jonas Adams, MPB Think Radio alum, JSU alum, and now at the mothership, so to speak, NPR.
Okay, Felton Plushing, the new MPB Muppet, says thank you for supporting us here at MPB. We appreciate it. You know, these are weird days. MPB could use a little help. And I know a lot of y'all enjoy the fun and also the fact that most of the year you can call in and talk with me and I won't try to sell you anything. I won't sell you anything because it doesn't matter to me what you do or don't do in your own yard. If it's horticultural I'll help you. If it's just plain old gardening, it's my pleasure. We're going to take a quick break and do a little bit more of the drive time thing. We'll come back and talk about some of the tiniest seeds you can put in your garden this time of year, which will make the most incredible flowers next spring. It's time to sow spring wildflowers and poppies and stuff like that. We'll be back with more right after this.
You're listening to MPB Think Radio. Good morning, I'm Kevin Farrell. We're hoping you can join the MPB family today as a monthly sustainer. You'll get a host of benefits, and we'll make sure you're counted in our fall fundraising campaign. Plus, right now, have your gift matched dollar for dollar. That's right. Through the end of Felder Show, when you call in and make your contribution, a dollar for dollar match. Double the power of your contribution when you give us a call or go online right now. In the studio with me this morning, here's MPB Foundation Director Angela Ferez.
Thanks, Kevin. Are you one of those people who listens to our on-air campaigns and you wait until the right moment to get involved? This is that right moment. We're in the final hours of the MPB Fall On-Air fundraiser, and we're hoping to hear from you right now. The most reliable form of funding for this 24-hour-a-day service comes in the form of your contribution, $5, $10, or $20 a month. This is going to be a success. We know that MPB listeners will rally for great public radio today. Please be our neighbor and text the word GIVE to this number, 888-372-4483. Call us at 888-372-4483 or follow the Donate Now link at mpbonline.org.
And when you do that right now during Felder Show, we're going to double your contribution. We're matching it dollar for dollar thanks to members of the MPB Matching Fund, folks that have put up some of their money to make sure that the drive is a real success. So again, do it right now. Go to the phones 888-372-4483 or online at mpbonline.org, and you'll get your contribution matched dollar for dollar. You know, there are a couple of reasons why MPB stands apart in the public media space. MPB Think Radio is one of the handful of stations in America that produces 3 hours of original programming in the middays, with topics that range from tech to money to pets to Southern food to gardening. MPB's education department is renowned for its pre-K through 12 programs online. What's truly inspiring is how many people take a stand and support these programs to ensure that Mississippi has a strong, healthy public service like MPB. Please pitch in what you can right now while we match your contribution dollar for dollar.
That's right, Kevin. And you know what? You'll be surprised how many people nod with approval when they see you sporting the new denim MPB tote bag. Give $60 or just $5 a month as an MPB sustainer, and we'll be happy to send along the newly designed tote bag. Now, Kevin, the foundation staff looked at a lot of bags before we chose this one. It was even on back order. And I was like, no, we'll wait because it is the best one. But they came in and we have them, and you will love this bag. So ask about getting your own MPB tote bag when you call or text the word GIVE to this number, 888-372-4483, 888-372-4483, or donate at mpbonline.org.
That denim tote bag caused a buzz among the members here at MPB Think Radio. We've been talking about it all week. That is such a cool item, and you can get it by becoming a sustainer at $5 a month or a $60 contribution all at once. But you want to do it right now because for the next 12 minutes, when you make your contribution at mpbonline.org or by calling 888-372-4483, we're matching you dollar for dollar. Double the power of your contribution, but you got to do it right now. You're running out of time. There's only about 10 minutes left. mpbonline.org, 888-372-4483. Take advantage of this dollar for dollar match. It's double time on MPB Think Radio.
Dear Felder, we sure love your show. You play cheesy music and share what you know about gardening and fun things and making things pretty, helping us all, even kids, to get dirty. Dear gardener, I love what we do. By planting and tending, we help the world too. Your phone calls and emails help Java and me jive. Now please call, support us, and keep this show live. Sign dear Felder.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing, Java Chapman, my awesome producer, who also wears a lot of hats up here at MPB. We appreciate it. And all the other folks, the live stream producers, everybody at MPB. We appreciate you for supporting this program, too. We really, really appreciate that. Java, one of the things that we like to talk about here on this gardening program is gardening.
Sometimes.
This past week I've been setting out pansies and violas. I put out a bunch of kale, my favorite kale, and the squirrels ate it all. I mean, down to nubs. They came back and ate most of the nubs.
They were watching you, man.
That's right. They're thinking kale. We like kale. And by the way, kale is what I call Madison County collards.
Wow.
But they're pretty. They're easy. They're edible. They're just beautiful, great ornamental plants. But anyway, this time of year is when we put out seeds of spring blooming wildflowers, things like larkspur and black-eyed Susan and Queen Anne's lace. Matter of fact, from a friend of mine in Texas, I got some pink Queen Anne's lace seeds. A pink Queen Anne's lace, the white stuff. Anyway, you plant them in October. But also, I brought in this. I don't know if we can crank down on this with the camera or not. But I brought some of my poppies. When I was a kid, you couldn't grow these things because it's that opium poppy-looking stuff.
Poppy seeds.
It is a beautiful flower. It blooms in the spring, but the seeds are tiny. I mean, they're very tiny, smaller than mustard seed. And when they get through blooming, they make this nice little seed pod, sort of a round poppy thing. And that thing is just full of seeds, just full of them. Anyway, you throw them out, clover, crimson clover, Queen Anne's lace, black-eyed Susan, coreopsis, larkspur, all these kind of plants. You throw the seeds out on just bare dirt right now, it'll grow right through the wintertime. Cool little plants. They need cold weather, and then they'll bloom like crazy in late February, March, April, first part of May. This is the time to sow wildflower seeds and also things like larkspur that bloom in the spring. So I just want to throw that out. If you don't have any of these, it might be a little bit late to order some, but you might be able to pick some of them up at seed racks at garden centers. But also, if you come into a plant swap, any of these plant swaps all around the state, if you want to bring some with you, we'll share them around. And by the way, I'm taking this, what we call it, Felton Plushing.
Yeah, Felton Plushing.
The MPB's own. I'm surprised at what I don't look like a gnome, to tell you the truth, but MPB's own Felder Muppet. This is so cool, Jason. Thank you so much for that. Anyway, I want to put out one more picture. We got a couple of minutes left. This is picture number 11 of an unusual plant that most people don't like, and they're not because they don't understand. This is a flower of a type of nut sedge. Some people call it cocoa weed or nutgrass, but it's not the kind that comes up like crazy in your yard. This one gets about knee-high. It doesn't spread by runners like crazy like the other stuff. It's called yellow nut sedge. This is growing in the back of my pickup truck. That's how tough it is. It's growing in the back of my pickup truck, and I'm gone for months at a time. But the thing about yellow nut sedge is it has a little nutlet that's edible, sort of like it's called ground nut. It's called chuffa, C-H-U-F-F-A. Chuffa is the...
Is that the little spiky part?
No, it's a little thing. That's the flower, actually. That's
okay.
The flower. It's a little nut. You pull the plant up, it's got like little peanuts on the root, little small nuts. But chuffa used to be grown as hog food, but also as people food. But yellow nut sedge is not your normal cocoa weed that's in your lawn and your garden. It's a beautiful plant, fantastic flower arrangement. So anyway, I just want to throw that. It's a different way of looking at stuff, Java. That's what we do here at MPB. We call it Think Radio. Let's get past the you can't put meat in your compost pile, or you can't prune your crepe myrtles and you can't blah, blah, blah. You can. Gardening is you can do that. It's a positive thing. And if other people don't like it, well, just go on. Hold your head up and go on. Can't have fun in your own yard. Where can you?
That's right. If you can't have fun in your own yard, where can you have your fun?
That's right. I appreciate the drive time. I know it helps support the program, helps keep Gestalt Gardener and all the other incredible, Mississippi is truly unique with public radio stations across the whole country in bringing real people in touch with real people in local issues. And I appreciate that a whole lot. Thank you for joining us. Those of you who are on the YouTube, appreciate it. Look forward to you sharing the word. Those of you who aren't, go to Mississippi Gardening Facebook and let's talk about it. See y'all at the plant swap in Mobile Saturday morning at 10. See you at the plant swap in Flora 9 o'clock next Thursday. And I see y'all right here in the studio next week. Java, you're a scholar and a gentleman, sir. We appreciate it a whole bunch. And I'm going to go home and get dirty.
I think that's appropriate. But before you do that, let's hear what Kevin Farrell and Angela Ferrez have to tell us about this matching.
Yes, indeed.
Thanks, Java. It's MPB, and I'm Kevin Farrell. Today we're on the air to ask you to support MPB midday programs and educational television. Many of your fellow listeners have come forward to support MPB as we try to complete this fundraiser successfully. Wait, what's that? I hear some ticking. Oh, it's ticking. The time is ticking out on the drive, but more